welcome to another video. So, what we've got in store this evening, well, it's a very cold evening, it's early spring and it's a nice sunny evening to be fair, but we've got a little subject it's quite late really in the season. Well, it's very late actually to be looking for this subject, but you can see behind me I've got a load of hard rush behind me which typically grows in poor grade soil. Now there's a particular species that loves this kind of landscape, and it's a winter visitor to the UK. So I say it's really late because we're in spring now, officially in spring, and they'll be leaving to Northern Europe and Siberia, and that's the Jack Snipe we're talking about. So very similar to the common snipe, but shorter bill and a lot shorter in profile in the body, but they like similar areas to roost and feed. Feed overnight, roost in the day, as they are generally nocturnal, but you will see them out and about in the daylight. But yeah, so we're in spring at the moment, and yeah, so we're going to see if we can spot any. Got a little bit of thermal tech with me that I have been using throughout a few videos to find, say, woodcock and things like that. So yeah, let's go and find some Jack Snipe anyway. Let's get into the video. Oh my days, what about that then? So the ringing group that I'm part of and training at the moment in, do a lot of ringing of Jack Snipe, but we've finished the ringing period, and the birds are now leaving, as I say, to go to Northern Europe. But generally with Jack Snipe, the way we catch them would be with hand nets and things like that, because they do flush at the last minute. You could be standing literally nearly standing on top of Jack Snipe, and you might not even know unless you're looking for them. So obviously the areas that they are found normally is this kind of hard rush type area, as you see behind me. So generally you're not walking through that kind of, you know, landscape unless you're looking for things like Jack Snipe and common snipe. But common snipe will often just go straight away as soon as they even hear you, whereas the Jacks will stay low to the ground and just try not to be seen, and they do a very good job, as you can see from, hopefully you'll be able to see from some of the camouflage on their wings and on the back and all over the body. They're just built for camouflage, and they just stay really still, hunker down, and just rely on their camouflage to hide them basically from any predators or people or anything that can disturb them. So yeah, we'll have a little look round in the thermal and we'll see if we can see anything in this hard rush behind me. It's a bit drier than it normally is, just because we're getting into we are in spring and we haven't really had a lot of rain, so they might be leaving a little bit earlier than normal perhaps. So we'll have a little look anyway, see what we can find. So I'll see if I can give you a bit of an example what you'd see through the viewfinder when you're looking for the Jacks, and similar to the woodcock video really, you're looking just for that heat signature. I typically have it on the black spot setting, so obviously anything black is going to be a heat source, and you can have it at different settings. You can have a white spot, which obviously makes the heat source white with a darker background. You can have red hot, you can have loads of different ones. So it just really depends on how you see it through the viewfinder. And the device I use is a HIC Micro, so that will vary from which device you're using, like Pulsar and other devices. So yeah, I'll have a little look round because I haven't really found one yet, so I'm sure we will. And yeah, we'll have a look. So we've just got to a really kind of a bit that's quite wet, and typically there will be around those areas. and luckily it's not in a bad spot. It's not too, sometimes they can be really densely in the foliage and you've got no chance of really getting a photograph or even netting them when we go to ring them. But on this occasion it's not actually in a bad spot, so I'm just going to get a few shots of it. I'm not going to get too close. I'm going to slowly walk kind of as if I'm not walking towards it, because they don't take to, when we try to net them when we're ringing, typically when you walk towards them directly at them, that's when they're more likely to be flushed. So I'm going to get reasonably close. I mean, I've got 600mm, so I don't need to get very close at all. So I've got enough zoom that I can get within a few feet, and just that's close enough really. You don't want to be getting within 2 meters of it really. You've got plenty of zoom, and you've obviously got a bit of cropping power that we've got. So we've got decent light, although it is in the shade here, so we are going to have to rely on low shutter speeds, which again, like the woodcock, is not a bad thing, because Jack Snipe are going to be absolutely stationary. So it's all down to me to just keep my hand still and just get that shutter speed low, and just keep it steady, take a few shots, and just take quite a lot of shots really, and then you're up your chances of getting a sharp one in amongst those shots. So I'll get some shots from multiple angles, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, good start though. So as you can see by some of those shots, they're all kind of, the bird hasn't really moved, but I've kind of gone around the bird and got different angles, and obviously it's totally aware that I'm here, but it's comfortable and it's not flushed. So that's always the key when we're looking for wildlife. Obviously we don't want to be flushing wildlife unless we are doing purposeful things like ringing and things like that. There's an element of we've got to get close enough to it to catch it, to ring it, and then send it on its way. And generally they do return, once we release them anyway, they do return to the site where we've just ringed them. They'll go down in a different spot generally. So yeah, it's really good to see. There's still some Jack Snipe here. These will be leaving it within the next week probably, because this is really late. It's actually the only one that I've seen. So I'm going to go to a little slightly different area where there's another set of rush like this. It's probably a little bit lower, and we'll see if we can maybe find another one that's straggling behind as well, and we'll see if we can get some shots. There is a little bit of heather amongst this as well, so the change in terrain might actually have attracted more Jack Snipe to that area rather than this one. So yeah, we'll have a little look, and yeah, just fantastic to see a Jack Snipe, a bird that you just don't get to see very often, and it's only a winter migrant, so you've got to do it at certain times of year. So it's quite a nice bonus to have in the winter, because we get so many summer migrants, but we don't really get loads and loads of winter migrants. So other than a lot of wildfowl waders, and obviously we get short-eared owls, get an influx of those and things like that. But other than that, it's the summer visitors everyone generally, looks forward to seeing. But personally, Jack Snipe are probably one of my top birds. So, and it's absolutely a pleasure to be able to ring them and try and contribute to their success, hopefully. And we don't know if they are a successful species, to be honest, because we don't know their numbers and things like that. We assume there's about 60 to 100,000 birds that come over to the UK every year, but we just don't know. There's no real way of knowing because of how secretive they are, so yeah, fantastic. Great to see them, and they'll be off soon, waving goodbye and going to the to Russia, Latvia, Poland and Northern Europe, so yeah, fantastic. So here's the kind of site behind me. It's a little bit different to the site up the top of the hill, and it's a little bit wetter, and there's a little bit more rush, to be honest. So I'm just going to have a little look through the viewfinder of the NIKKOR Micro and we'll see if we can see anything. Hopefully we can get a bird maybe in a different orientation and maybe a different bit of foliage. We'll see what we can find. So I've just managed to find another jack. It's in a bit of a tricky spot, but I should be able to get reasonably close. The only thing is it's going to be shot from above quite a lot, and typically that's what's going to happen when you're looking for Jack Snipe to photograph. Unless they're coming out in the open and you're sitting in a hide and things like that, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get it coming out to feed in front of you unless you sit there patiently. And you need a bird that's going to be feeding in the day, which sometimes they're just roosting in the day, so you're not always going to get them come out. So we'll see if we can get closer to this one and just have a little, see if we can get a few shots from above. It does require me getting in a little close, so I don't want to spend too much time doing that. So I'm just going to stick the shutter speed on really high, not the shutter speed, sorry, the frame rate really high, and just lower the shutter speed, just because of, I'm in a sunny patch here, but it's going to be in a dark area, and then we'll take a lot of shots, well, a lot of shots in a short space of time, and then we'll get out of there and hopefully show you some more shots that are a little bit varying perhaps, but yeah, absolutely amazing to see a second one. Yeah, so this one's in a very tricky spot. There's not much heather around here, but it's almost strange to see bits of heather, or I don't think it is heather, it might just be like a blueberry bush, something like that. It's quite twiggy and brown, but it's quite a little bit of a wet patch, but it seems pretty comfortable. We're just a little bit high, that's the only thing. I'm just going to move a little bit. Oh, it's lovely. Let's get a few shots off and just get out there a little bit. Yeah, so absolutely amazing. Hasn't gone either. Staying down there. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. Awesome little bird. Hopefully you guys enjoy these shots, because these are about to go and there's not going to be many opportunities. I've left it a little bit late again, to be honest. A lot like the short-eared owls, I've left it late to go out and get images, but I've been a bit conscious because we normally like to come to different sites and ring these birds, so it's normally not a photo opportunity. It's more of a, obviously, for the greater good of ringing these birds and learning more about them and what we can do to the ecosystem around us to help them out, basically. What can we do and what kind of habitats do they like to be in, and where do they go and where do they breed, basically. We just don't have this information for Jack Snipe, so I'm going to move away just because I'm conscious I don't want to be too loud and trigger it to fly off and start its migration early. Right guys, so I think we're going to leave this area now, leave the birds to it, still roosting obviously, but they're going to be going off to feed very soon, and probably in the next few days going off to actually migrate to where they need to be to breed. And yeah, where that is we don't quite know, hence why we do so much ringing, and these are such an important bird to know a little bit more information than what we do about. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and you might not have ever even seen or heard of a Jack Snipe. What is a Jack Snipe? But now you should hopefully know a little bit more. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed and liked previous videos. Please do like and subscribe to this video as well if you can. It is free. It really helps the channel, helps me get out and just keep wanting to go and do these videos, and getting the support from you guys out there really watching the videos, and it tells me that you're enjoying them. So on videos where, you know, I'm trying to figure out whether this is an enjoyable video for you, do you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments and we can work out different videos to do and what you guys like and want to see, and go from there really. So because at the moment I just kind of go out on these ideas that I have, what I want to see, what I want to photograph based on what I haven't probably photographed before, and that's it really. So any input, any feedback, any tips even, I'm all ears. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for coming with me on this lovely sunny evening, albeit a cold one, and spring is finally here. So yes, ooh, what a season ahead we've got hopefully. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.